Hello. Okay, I would like to talk today on Mormons. So I came from a Mormon background. So I was raised in a Mormon family. It didn't mean anything to me. I grew up in California. I lived in Utah when I was really young, and then when it started mattering, these things started mattering more because I was getting older. I moved to California, and they didn't matter. People didn't need to know I was Mormon. People didn't know I wasn't Mormon. I didn't really care. So I started going on these LSD trips my senior year, and things started getting real heavy. I started wondering, and then I reacted by preparing to go on a Mormon mission, and I went on a Mormon mission, and converting Mormon. So I was very much a Mormon for 4 years. From 1988 to what is that? 1992, 93, somewhere around there. For just over 4 years, probably I was LDS. 2 years of which I was a missionary. So I know a lot about the Mormon Church and everything, but the thing is, like here in Utah, something you see, like there's a lot of people that call themselves not a Mormon. They say I'm not a Mormon, but what they do is they go from being religious to being like an advanced person, and they skip over a bunch of steps that are supposed to be in between. They need to be studying like Mr. Armstrong's work, or I guess there would be other things. You'd have to find them yourself, but I would recommend looking at my playlist about the Mormons. Like if you're a Mormon and you've decided you don't believe that anymore, it's pretty recommendable, because the Mormon Church, what they do is in the temple, they make everybody vow on their own salvation that they believe everything their leaders say, and that they manipulate everything to make that look real. To lie if you need to, but never speak against them. The truth doesn't matter, but making them look good does. So they vowed to that. So they're serious about it. They're not, like if you know Mormons, they don't read non-Mormon books. If something is teaching a teaching that isn't what the Mormon Church teaches, they get all uncomfortable and look the other way, and they won't let their brain hear the information. So they shelter themselves. So they don't. So like if you've left the Mormon Church, don't do that to yourself. If you know it's bullshit, but you don't really know a lot about it, you should look at my playlist about Mormons, and just like make sure you know for sure that it's a hoax, that it's fraud. The Mormon Church it's a fact, it's fraud. So you might as well know that it's fraud. That'll be one of your steps of getting away from it, because and then you'll need to replace it with something else. So you might study the teachings of Mr. Armstrong. So if what Joseph Smith and them said is not what the Bible says, then what does the Bible say? Then that's when you go to Mr. Armstrong, which isn't an organized religion. He's just some author guy that'll teach you that. So like what you see here in Utah is you see people that they go straight from being Mormon to being atheist. And then they talk, I'm not a Mormon, but yet you get to know them, and they still believe in sheltering children. They still believe in sheltering everything and manipulating everything to make the Mormon Church look true. I mean, they don't really change any of their beliefs, or they don't really grow. All they do is just move from Mormon to atheist, and they get like their human nature makes their pride effect. Well, if the Mormon Church isn't true, then none of them are, and that type of attitude. And they're just they're not humble, and they can't be taught anything. That's because they skipped over the step of knowing why the Mormon Church is a fraud. And then like if you don't want to be Mormon, then why not learn why you don't want to be Mormon, and then replace it with something better? Because like the truth is about the belief in God is that atheism means like atypical means not typical. Atheist means none of the theologies. Atheism is the future. You should look at my playlist about Karen Armstrong. She's atheist, and she teaches that, that it's all just an evolution of who God is. And where we're supposed to be right now with who God is that God's within. And that's being atheist. When you believe there is a God, but it's not a man in the universe, rather it's just where you connect within, because We create things with our mind, which has words in it. We create things with words, you know, and that's who God is. You know, you create your future. You know, if you're positive, the laws of attraction bring positive things to you and stuff. I mean, I don't think that's always true, but you know, so you got to replace it with good things, not just give up on everything, you know, and you need to know why.